I am muted. There we go. Hi. I'm Alex. I'm the Devil's Advocate. This is American Wasp. Over on this space, I will be joined by Deter shortly. But for now, you got me, Devil's Advocate. And I would like to share with you what I've been working on today. First of all, last night, just a little bit of talk. Last night, I attended the virtual DSA, what is it? Workers Deserve More. Maybe we'll talk about this with Deter a little bit more. But there was a DSA virtual call, which I am sure the FBI, CIA, right wing media, and left wing media, center media, whatever, was attending. I was representing this space, and it was a virtual call. Emma Vigeland from Majority Report was on there, kind of hosting the thing and passing it between different chapter leaders and just kind of program leaders in the DSA, and talking about a national platform. And they're going to have a drive on Sunday. So for Corey Bush, I believe. And yeah, man, get involved. Tomorrow on this space, the Space Station premieres. Space Station will be a roundtable show with rotating panels of hosts, and we will be premiering our newest possible host on that show, who is a member of DSA. So that's cool. Also today, personally, I made reaction because it happened over the weekend, and I was trying to get these reactions out before this happened, but stuff, life gets in the way. I made reaction to The Blueprint, Jay-Z's The Blueprint, his I would say his classic album. If he has a classic album, it is that one, because it had the most songs on it that I recognize just from growing up in New York in the 90s and 2000s. And it's the most consistent one. Also, there's a song with Eminem on there that I've never heard, because, again, I don't really like Jay-Z. And there's the song The Takeover, where he disses Nas and Mobb Deep, which then led to Nas responding a couple months later on his album Stillmatic, which I will be doing tomorrow, with Ether. And we all know how Ether turned out. So I've definitely heard Ether, but I have not sat down and listened to it until tomorrow. So those are out. I made those, the Eminem one and the Takeover, individual videos. If you watch this, you'll see both of them happen. You know what I mean? When I get to them in the album. But yeah, that's what I did today. We also, am I going to do a fucking trailer reaction for the teaser for the Batman 2? Fuck it, dude. We're just killing time a little bit before Deter gets here. Yeah. Look. Am I going to get dinged? Probably not. Look at this. This is the trailer reaction. All right, get a live trailer reaction. It's just an image of him slowly turning in what looks like rain. Now, some conspiracy-minded folks, like myself, might say that's snow. And I muted it just in case the audio is copywritten. Some may say that's snow, and it's Mr. Freeze, and we're doing a Mr. Freeze. I was a Mr. Freeze story, dude. Fingers crossed, knock wood. But also, they put out this logo, which is just the bat logo with a 2 in Roman numerals. However, if you're a conspiracy lunatic like myself, you might see these as eyes, and you might see this as a big grin. a big red grin. And we did get a look at Joker in the first Batman movie, which was actually we didn't. We got a look at Joker when the movie came out because they posted a deleted clip of it on Twitter, where there was a scene where Batman goes and talks to Joker, like what's her name in Silence of the Lambs? What's the girl's name in Silence of the Lambs? Clarice, but the actress, Jodie Foster. Just like Jodie Foster. Thank you. Lovely off-screen wife, folks. Jodie Foster in Silence of the Lambs going to talk to Hannibal Lecter. There was a scene like that in the Batman movie that they cut out because you didn't need it, but it was cool that they had it. And then they put it out, like, I think when the movie was still in theaters, they were like, yeah, like it's doing big. People have seen it. Here's a scene, you know? And we got to look at Barry Keoghan and his fucked up like Joker face. So could be telegraphing that we're doing some Joker stuff. Okay. And I'm all for it. I love Joker. I can't get enough. I don't care about Joker fatigue. All right. I don't care. I'm having a good time. So, what do I talk about? Well, we're waiting for Deter. So let's talk about some shit that I found funny. And it ties in. Here, I'm going to put a time code for Nick. And then if you want to cut this as a clip, I always put the time codes in the chat for in the private chat for the producers. Shout out the producers. Shout out all the mods. John Lithium. All right. We got folks, Wanda. I see you. Adam Gordon. Mr. Android. Shout out the chat. Now, there's a weird story going on with a rapper called Boosie. Okay. Boosie put out this tweet. He says, Laura Loomer, Mike Cernovich, Jack Posobiec, Erica Kirk, Mike Johnson, Nancy Mace, spelled it wrong, Andy Biggs. Can the names above please make a truthful statement about having contact or no contact with Berkman and Wall about my pardon process? 600,000 was taken from me with your names mentioned in emails by these people. Thanks. And I was confused. All I know about Boosie, I've never heard a Boosie song. I don't think I'm going to react to a Boosie song. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll make a video about that, especially when this thing is going down. Boosie, all I know about him is he's like homophobic, like super homophobic. Started a beef with Lil Nas X when he was at the height of his powers to be like, you know, just gay bashing and whatnot. Said something like along the lines of, you know, when my kid turns 13, I'm going to take him to a strip club and like get him laid so he becomes a man, and that kind of like toxic masculinity kind of bullshit, right? So since then, I haven't really heard from him. Apparently, he's gotten into some legal trouble and wanted a pardon from Trump and got taken and hoodwinked for $600,000 because he thought he could get a pardon for that much money. That little amount of money, rather, should say. This is a video breaking it all down. This is Poetic Flacco. Shout out him for doing this. I will put the captions on and I will turn the speed to like 1.25. Check this out. This story is hilarious, and it ties in with the corruption of the Trump administration. Hilarious in a hilarious fashion.
This new Boosie lawsuit is really terrible, and it exposed a lot of terrifying things about our own government. Boosie and our government are probably two subjects you never thought would collide.
Maybe a little bit faster.
But this lawsuit kind of merges a lot of things that's just outright scary. For the last couple of years, Boosie has been doing everything in his power to stay out of jail. Bro been contacting witch doctors, bro been asking fans to pray for him, bro been begging Trump on Twitter, bro been doing everything possible, and it all stems from the federal charges he caught in San Diego. He was facing up to 15 years in jail.
On to a little more serious news here. A well-known rapper with a big following on social media could be headed back to prison after he pleaded guilty to a gun charge in federal court today.
Boosie was arrested during a traffic stop here in San Diego 2 years ago. CBS 8's Kelly Hessedal joins us live downtown. Kelly, you were in the courtroom. You also spoke to Boosie. What can you tell us?
That's right. And his legal name is Torrance Hatch. Now, a lot of times defendants don't really want to talk to us if they're still going through court proceedings.
All right. So, like, long as actually, let's play his interview.
Was fine with it. He says he accepts responsibility for what happened and he's ready to move forward.
I want to put it behind me. I want to get it behind me and get on with my life. You know, it's a lot of things this case has stopped me from doing, traveling all across the world, making. So I just want to get it over with. You know, accept my guilty plea. I'm ready to get over it.
Anything you want to say to your fans?
Just say a prayer for him. I just need prayer. I don't need nothing else. Yeah.
And his attorney provided us this video of him performing on stage. Now, Hatch, known as Boosie.
All right, so that's the background, right? He's in trouble. And then let's skip ahead a little bit.
Fiance was with him in court today. So some background on this case. It stems from a traffic stop in Sandee riding in.
But it ultimately got pushed back to January.
God damn fucking ads on fucking YouTube, bro. Look, I'm not paying for YouTube Premium. I'm not paying Google more money. And I already have too many subscriptions as it is. If I'm paying anything, it's to join DSA. But anyways.
Guilty in August, he was still looking at 15 years. So he met up with two men at the advice of his attorney in September. The two men he met up with in September is Jack Berkman and Jacob Wall. Now he met up with
Jack Berkman and Jacob Wall. Now I don't know Jack Berkman, but Jacob Wall I know is a right-wing operative.
Asking for help to keep him out of jail ahead of his sentencing, which was supposed to be in November. Now, the two men he met up with, Jack Berkman, he has a company called Berkman and Associates. He's a professional lobbyist. Boosie had took a plea deal, but he didn't want to leave anything to chance. He didn't want to go to court and the judge give him 15 years. So he met up with these dudes to ask for their help to keep him out of jail. How could they do that? Well, he got a Fed case. These dudes promised Boosie they would go to Trump and they would ask Trump to pardon Boosie, and Trump will pardon Boosie. The reason they were so confident they could keep Boosie out of jail is because it's a wide open secret by now that Donald Trump receives money to pardon people, but he's not just receiving anybody's money. Like you just can't walk up to Donald Trump and say, hey, bro, here's my money, pardon me. You have to go through lobbyists. You have to go through a middleman. You have to go through somebody that can keep it discreet, which is why you see NBA Youngboy got pardoned. He paid. Kodak Black got pardoned.
Interesting. I didn't know about that either. Those other rappers, Kodak Black, NBA Youngboy, they got pardons because they paid. This is why, dude, Nicki Minaj going right wing. Oh, what? All of a sudden, no, not all of a sudden. First of all, if you look at her views of the last, anytime I heard her speak, I'm like, oh, you're just like waiting to be a conservative. You just don't know it yet. But then she's like out and out, and she's in legal trouble too. So these other guys, it's make no surprise. Wouldn't be surprised if that's why, like, Nelly and Snoop Dogg are cozying up. They don't know any better, number one. And also, they're like, hey, he's the president. I'm going to make him happy. Like, keep him on my good side, you know?
That he paid, right? The labels is paying for their artists to get pardoned, right? Because, again, it's a smart business move. Why keep Youngboy in jail who can make you $30 million when you could pay $1 million to get him pardoned? So it's an open secret. Donald Trump.
Interesting that the label's paying. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. It's why movie studios don't want the actors to get canceled. Like, they don't want Louis C.K. because he had multiple projects in development, or Kevin Spacey or whatever. They're like, but we don't care. One girl came out, a couple guys came out. Who cares? We can make millions of dollars with this brand. It's not a person; it's a brand. So corruption all the way down.
Parting people for money, but you have to go through a middleman, and the middleman are people like Berkman and Associates.
So, guys, there was some reporting in the first term about how at the end of it, Trump had this like pay-to-play scheme where if you could find a way to give him some money, then he would find a way to.
Kyle, shout out Kyle. So, yeah, Kyle basically just explains the pay-to-play scheme, right? Like, you can do this. And the first term you can do it, and then now it's just like, oh, business is open. Like, Tony Soprano is the president. I want to make that clear and reiterate that anytime I'm speaking into a microphone. Tony Soprano's the president. You like Tony Soprano because he's the main character. I point to where is it? I point to this video by Jose, All in the Family. I watched this a few years ago, and something he said in this 2.5 hour long video really stuck with me. Archie Bunker is a bigot racist, right? Everybody else is trying to teach him a lesson. The plot structure of each episode is Archie has to learn a lesson for the most part. And that happens. However, because of episodic television, it needs to reset every time. So he's always learning a lesson every time. So it seems like if you're watching this show over a long period of time, that nothing's really getting through, or ultimately, actually, he's right a lot of times, and they kind of have to acquiesce to him. And as the seasons go along, the writers themselves get more attached to these characters. They like these characters. They don't want him to be such a bad guy, so they soften him and they try to like redeem. So and the same thing happens with The Godfather, with Scarface, with fucking Taxi Driver, with fucking Casino, with Tony Soprano on The Sopranos, with Boardwalk Empire. Westerns do this. Like, it is a narrative thing you need to be aware of. And Donald Trump in real life fell into this. We know he's a corrupt businessman. We know he's tacky and shallow, but like, it's funny. He's on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. He's on Howard Stern. He's on The View. And so he's funny. And then he runs for president and people like him already, even though he's an asshole, but they vote for him and he wins. And then, it's not fucking funny anymore. That's what happens. So again, the president is Tony Soprano. This is an example of graft, like just blatant graft.
The second term, once a week or once every other week, you hear this story of Trump pardoning somebody, and you're like, he pardoned who? He pardoned who? What are we talking about here? Never mind 1,200 January 6th rioters. Like, over 400 of them were violent criminals. Over 100 of them assaulted cops. Pardons them. Doesn't care. Because he wants you to know, if you commit a crime for him, it's not really a crime. I got your back, right? But that's just one example. You've seen the many examples. So we got some new ones for you. Ready? Trump has pardoned Paul Walzak 3 weeks after Paul's mother attended a $1 million per person Trump fundraiser. Oh, this gets worse, y'all. This gets worse.
I mean, again, it's going to a fundraiser. It's donating to a super PAC. It's buying his crypto coin or whatever. Like, that's the extra step. That's like, well, it's not technically them handing me a bag of money like Tom Homan was, director of Homeland Security. Tom Homan was handed a bag of money, and that investigation was stopped as soon as Donald Trump got into office again. But anyway, let's skip ahead. So Kyle Kulinski explaining the graft of the Trump administration.
Being pardoned almost every day by Trump because they got money to do it. So they've been doing it in their community. It's just reaching hip hop. Now, the reason why Boosie went with Berkman and Associates is because his lawyer have had several clients that they helped get pardoned. So Boosie was almost confident that these were the guys who could get him a pardon. So they came to an agreement with Boosie where Boosie would pay them $600,000 for consultation. So the scope of services that Boosie paid for is a consultant is retained by client Boosie, Torrance Hatch, to provide exclusive strategic advisory and advocacy services for the sole purpose of seeking and securing a full presidential pardon for the charges to which client has pled guilty.
Right. So this is the contract that they sold him. Now, he's going to point out some like inconsistencies here.
In a matter of United States versus Third, it's a gun case. Now, you guys know, okay? So the primary and exclusive objectives of this, they actually put, conducting high-level strategic outreach and direct lobbying with key officials within that White House counsel's office to ensure the pardon petition receives thorough and favorable consideration. But he didn't just pay for advice, he paid for guarantees.
Like, it's in the contract that they will guarantee that they can get this into the White House's hands. Like, that's, I mean, Jacob Wall better be looking over his fucking shoulder, and so is this Berkman guy too. But I love that they have their like, again, these internet right-wing accounts that they are people and they're just like operatives. And they're like, okay, we're going to set up a little shell organization and we'll be a law firm this time. And we'll set this up to trick some celebrities into giving us money. And then, they give us money. Fuck you. I disappear. All right, let's fast forward a little bit.
$300,000 for themselves because they did the work and they contacted the proper officials and they went through and did everything. But if they cannot secure the pardon, you would get $300,000 back, which I'll be real. If you have a
so like that was the deal. You pay $600,000. If they get you the pardon, then you pay the $600,000. If not, you don't get the pardon, they'll send you $300,000 back. So either way, so you don't have to do any work. That's the point. That's what he's gonna get to. You don't have to do any work. You just take the $600,000, give somebody $300,000 back.
Realistic mind. This is like the perfect business to be in. I could charge people $50,000 to get them a presidential pardon, but I'll say, hey, you give me $50,000 for me to do the work, and if you don't get the pardon, you get only $25,000 back. I could take people money all day and just give them half the money back once the time frame is over and do no work at all. I don't know why anybody would agree to
Right?
I'm in the wrong business, man. That's like a guaranteed jug, bro. Take money all day and refund half. That's about it. So, the refund will be under certain conditions. The client must submit a written request for the consultant for the refund. Consultant shall return the funds within 3 business days of receiving the client's written request.
So, like, again, it's just a graft. Let's skip forward here to like the conclusion.
Agreed to give him half, even though that's what the contract says. That's what they told Notice. And then when TMZ contacted them, they told TMZ a whole different story. Boosie just got.
So, like, the Jacob Wall and Bergman are being like contacted and going like, what is the deal here? Boosie's saying, and they're like, different stories.
Finesse and juked. Yo, they legally just robbed Boosie. They're giving different stories to anybody who asks. They tell Boosie we bankrupt. Tell us other publication. Well, we never agreed to that. And now look at the other excuse they just told TMZ as to why they can't pay Boosie back the money. They tell TMZ, listen, Boosie has no.
Yeah, and as soon as he paid them, by the way, they didn't even give him the $300,000 back. They just took the $6,000 and then were like, oh, this company doesn't exist anymore. It's bankrupt. It's over. That's it.
To be unhappy. In 30 years of lobbying, I doubt we have ever done more work and harder work. The provision in the contract he is referencing was never agreed to at all. The other factor is that Boosie's quest for a pardon was made much tougher by an arrest for an alleged crime of violence in Texas earlier this year. We tried very, very, very.
So that's what they were. That's the last thing that they said is like, we tried very hard, but he got arrested again. And so it's hard to get a pardon. However, he was supposed to get the pardon in January. He got arrested again in May. When this came out, like
hard. They're saying, listen, we couldn't get the pardon for Boosie because Boosie caught another case. But here's the problem. They were supposed to give Boosie this pardon January 31st, 2026. Boosie got arrested last month in May. Boosie got arrested in May for the incident in Texas, like in Houston. So how are you supposed to get a pardon in January? But you're saying you couldn't get the pardon in January for something Boosie did in May of this year. Are you dumb? Now, when Boosie heard that, bro, Boosie, he lost his mind on Twitter. Boosie went crazy. Boosie goes, Jack, shut your
this shit.
lying up, talking about this stuff in Houston messed up the party. You were sued in March. This happened at the end of May. Don't start lying now. I gave you 3 months to send my money back. You told me, or talking about Trump signed the pardon, got me running around our damn house jumping, saying you just talked to the president, you played with the wrong one. Yo, this man told Boosie, hey, bro, I just talked to Trump. He's signing the pardon. Congratulations, bro. You're not going to jail. Boosie running up the route, jumping around. Yes, we did.
Like, that's the scheme, dude. So you don't even have to be actually like getting people pardons. Like, it's every level of this administration is corrupt, even down to the folks who aren't even part of it, who are just right-wing grifters. Hey, we can get the hold of Trump's ear and get you to give you a pardon. Just pay us $600,000. Oh, you did? Oh, well, the company doesn't exist anymore. Are you going to sue us? Okay. We couldn't. We tried to do it, but we couldn't. The end. I mean, suing someone. You're suing someone because you bribed them. You bribed them. You bribed them, and they didn't deliver on what you bribed them for. Like, he should sue Trump. He should be like, I paid your people $600,000 for a guaranteed service, and I didn't get that service. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That is a great example of our mafia administration. That's what we're doing. Again, Boosie says Laura Loomer, Mike Cernovich, Jack Posobiec, Erica Kirk, Micah Johnson, Nancy Mace, Andy Biggs. I feel like he's saying this because maybe he was in contact with all of those people. Interesting. Okay, so I'm looking at his Twitter. I'm trying to get updates. Thank you, Laura, for making a statement. Really needed that. For your honesty is really appreciated. He's also advertising his Dukes and Boots concert. Thank you, Mike Cernovich. Now let's find out what Mike Cernovich and Laura Loomer said. That's 21 hours ago for Laura Loomer. Let's find out. Dude, she tweets every fucking 5 minutes. It's going to be impossible to scroll all the way down. What the fuck? Hold up. Okay, interesting. Because I'm looking at Laura Loomer, and she posted a retweet of Complex Media. Boozy Badass asked for help verifying info about his Trump pardon efforts. Laura Loomer weighs in details. And she says, I'm sorry, who? As if she doesn't know. So what does this Complex article say? Right. This is the tweet we just saw. So far, Loomer said, okay, I don't get involved in this type of work and have no idea what you're talking about. No offense, but I also have no idea who you are and have never heard of your case. Seems like Berkman is using people's names without permission to get business. That's also not how the pardon process works. You can't pay for a pardon. Not sure who told you that's how it works. Right? And he said, thank you for the statement. So that's what we just saw. Interesting. Because they're getting asked about it now by news outlets. That's hilarious. She had to be like, I don't know who you are. I've never heard of this. You don't pay for pardons. Because even here, if we scroll back up, where Boozy says, thank you, Laura, for making a statement. I really needed that. Your honesty is appreciated. She says, you're welcome. Don't pay for pardons. Like, again, saying, like, we don't do this. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Bro. All right. And the Mike Cernovich one was 4 hours ago. Let's find out. Is he still on here? Where is, let's see. Oh, here we go. So Complex or double XL has it. I don't get involved, right? That's the Laura Loomer one. The Cernovich one says, hey, Lil Boozy, I don't privately advocate for pardons nor accept money to do so. I do promote pardons publicly with full transparency for any legal people watching. Nothing against you, but never recommended a pardon for you, nor even knew you wanted one. They're trying to distance themselves. We don't know. Why is he mentioning our names? Uh-oh, it broke containment. Right? Someone's getting a talking to. I think Jacob Wall is getting a talking to. Matter of fact, let's check his account. Because they're all on Twitter. Well, is he? Maybe not. Maybe not anymore. Dude, this is fucking hilarious. Look, crime doesn't pay. Essentially. I guess that's the lesson here. Crime doesn't pay. Or it can pay. It can pay very well. But it will end. It will end. They wouldn't be worried about courts and judges and elections if they thought they were secure. You know? If they thought they could just like mass wipe out people in this country, anyone who didn't agree, lock everybody up, they just do it. I mean, it's happening. It is happening, and we're going to get to some of that. But it's not as cut and dry as they think it is, and they want it to be. And it's very, very funny. Let's talk about this real quick. All right. So, next segment. Lindsey Graham's dead. If you didn't know, let's put the glasses on in remembrance of Lindsey Ladybugs Graham, who has passed away at age 71. And let's see a little bit of a eulogy from one of his favorite people, one of his closest friends, Benjamin Netanyahu.
Appreciate you joining us.
Yes, Prime Minister, thank you for joining us. And actually, if I could just one last quick 10-second question. If you had one word to remember your friend Lindsey Graham, what would it be?
Patriot. Big, big American patriot.
All right.
Prime
Well, now
Minister
let's thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's bring in Alex Hogan.
Patriot. A foreign leader calls Lindsey Graham a patriot. So Lindsey Graham's dead, and we heard Trump talk about him. We love, the best friends. Lindsey Graham, of course, was a Trump skeptic at first, but then saw the light. And here's what he had to say to Kristen Welker on Sunday.
You obviously launched a fresh round of strikes overnight. Iran said overnight the Strait of Hormuz is closed. CENTCOM came out this morning and said the Strait of Hormuz is open. Which is it, Mr. President, and how are you going to respond?
And I don't want to talk about it because I want to honor the life of Lindsey Graham, so I don't want to talk about it. I told you that before the call.
Yeah.
It's open. We bombed the hell out of them last night. They're very, very evil and sick people. We had meetings with them for the last. They agreed to a deal yesterday, a perfect deal for us. No nuclear, no this, no that, no nothing. They gave up everything.
Look, to quote fucking Andor again, it's insulting how lazy they are. They don't even bother to lie well. They're just like, the Strait of Hormuz is open. We're bombing the hell out of them. They're evil. Come on, stop asking me this. I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about Lindsey Graham. Matter of fact, you asked me a question not about Lindsey Graham, about Iran and the war that I started, apparently pushed into it by Netanyahu. That this is just fuck you. You're a bad person because we're here to talk about Lindsey Graham. We're not here to talk about the things I don't want to talk about, like the war I started. We're here to talk about Lindsey Graham. And by the way, Deter is not coming, so we're throwing up the devil's. It's a devil's advocate Wednesday night. But yeah, so all he said about Lindsey Graham is, and we love Lindsey Graham. He's such a great guy. Anyways, let's talk about me some more. He would literally use Lindsey Graham as a deflection from real questions. And that's what they're doing. I mean, the media, even Kristen Welker here, is like apologetically trying to get a question in. I saw a clip of Jake Tapper saying, "Yes, sir. Thank you, sir." After Trump had said, CNN is not always on the right path, but we're trying to get it on the right path. And he said, "Yes, sir. Thank you, sir." And that means they're trying to get that merger done with the Ellisons, who own Paramount, buying HBO and Warner Brothers, which owns CNN, and also TikTok. Thankfully, a bunch of states are trying to stop that from happening. But it still might go through, and Jake Tapper and Dana Bash are auditioning for their jobs. They're auditioning to keep the jobs they have on the new and improved CNN because it's going to happen, because we're going to ram it through, because they're an administration of rapist murderers. They're Tony Sopranos. That's what they are. Kim Jong-un also comes to mind, a dictator, where no one will say anything bad to him, about him in public, at least. This is Chip Roy, Congressman Chip Roy, coming out of the Capitol.
Why do you think Donald Trump's having so much trouble staying awake at these international meetings where he's representing the United States?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I mean, the president's got more energy than all of Congress combined. So, I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about, actually.
Actually, I don't know what you're talking about. The president's got more energy than all of Congress. Actually, I don't know what you're talking about. You're wrong. You're lying. Fake news. They're tired. They don't want to lie this much. They don't care They are insulted. You're asking them questions. They're insulted. You're asking them fucking questions. This is Fascist Watch, by the way, a weekly segment. Here is Mike Johnson announcing that they are going to ask the Pentagon, or he says that the Pentagon is requesting another $350 billion for fighting communism on our own shores. This is so that they can lock everybody up. They cannot have elections. They're trying to do this fast. They're trying to speed run fascism, and it doesn't work. You have to slowly choke the life out of people. So then they accept the new normals, and they expect less and less. That's how we got to where we are as a country, as a people, as a world. We expect less and less from our elected officials or the people with the money. Until now, they don't even bother trying to pretend like they're helping or give a shit about you. They're angry that they even have to have a preface of caring. When asked, I'm sure, about this $350 billion, he'll be like, but communism's so important to fight on our shores. Blah, 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 blah. We can't pay for schools or hospitals. That should be privately owned. So our friends who own that can make money.
There's been a lot of discussion about what's going to be included in this reconciliation bill. Can you walk through how important and how imminent it is that the Pentagon needs additional funding and what that number precisely is going to be in the reconciliation bill?
So the question was, can you list the specifics of what the request is for the Pentagon? We've seen it's over $350 billion as a request. And some of this is transformational kind of funding that will help us change the dynamic of the Department of War and make it more efficient and effective. It's already the greatest fighting force on the planet, not even close. But there are some ideas, a real vision on how to improve that even further.
It's the best thing in the world, but we have to improve it even further.
Bolster that. You've heard the president talk about how he wants to effectively double the funding for national defense. Look, we live in dangerous times. We're fighting communism on our own shores, and we're fighting evil terrorists and tyrants around the world. And we have to be able to protect our national security. So,
yeah, the protect the national security, protect us from the people who want us gone, which is increasing. The number of people is increasing. Let's hear from one of the stooges, Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon, comedian, podcaster, wannabe Alex Jones, nihilist. I know that from knowing someone who used to open for him, doesn't care about anything. So now he was for Trump. Now he's against Trump. He goes where the wind blows. He doesn't give a fuck. But where the wind's blowing, he knows. And this is it.
You know, this idea that we have to defeat every ideology we disagree with is a fucking insane thing. That would be like if you walked into work every day and you're like, I'm going to straighten everyone out here. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. It doesn't matter if you have the most money. It doesn't matter if you're the top producer or whatever the hell we think we are in this office scenario. You still can't walk in every day and go, I'm straightening everybody else out. You disagree with me? Fuck you. You do your own thing. You don't focus on them. You ignore them. They're irrelevant. They don't matter. They're not threatening you. They're not corrupting your culture in any meaningful way. All of this is crazy. This idea that, like, we have to care what the Muslim Brotherhood says about us is insane. Are we afraid of them? Are we afraid of them? What?
Yeah, he's trying to argue for, like, don't go into endless wars. Don't start shit, won't be shit. Don't start none, won't be none. Yes, we have crazy people on this planet. Must we kill them all who don't agree with us? Or not even us. Who am I saying us, dude? Like, one group doesn't agree with another group. That group happens to have more money and resources and missiles. That group then has to destroy every other group that doesn't agree. That's how you get world wars. That's how you get endless fighting. And again, he's saying this cynically. He's kind of letting out really what he feels because he's pissed at Rogan and what he was dragged into. Again, voluntarily went with because money. I think it's fitting he has an Enron cup on his desk because he was in the financial industry and seeing everything collapse in 2008 and nobody get in trouble outside of Bernie Madoff broke him as a person. And he's like, I'll do comedy. Fuck it. Like, who cares? Get what you can while the getting's good because nobody cares and everything's going to fall apart. The rich are always going to stay rich. They'll never be held to account. Who cares? Get money.
Why did we spend all the money on nukes if we're so afraid of all these terrorist groups in all these countries, by the way, that we can't beat because we create. Wink, wink. That's why we can't beat them, because we create them. Interesting how that works. You give birth to something, it's actually harder to beat. Isn't that odd? And you create them overtly, maybe through intelligence agencies, and you create them somewhat unwittingly, inevitably, by your actions in their countries.
So what he's saying here is America deserved 9/11. He's saying what Hassan Piker has said. Blowback. You do fucked up shit in other countries. It's going to make people fucking hate you. Radicalize groups of people. They're going to network and get together and plan attacks.
And you radicalize people and it becomes a breeding ground. You know, and not to say the ones that we like directly are not to say anything about the ones we're directly hiring.
Yeah, like Al-Qaeda. Like that's where it came from. In the 80s, the Russians were in Afghanistan for oil. America wanted oil, so Reagan armed terrorists in Afghanistan to fight the Russians. And then when the Russians left, those terrorists were like, okay, well, you're going to keep giving us money and weapons so that we can advance our own goals here domestically. And Reagan said, nope, we don't care anymore. So they were left on their own, and they got pissed over the next 15 years, 10 years, and bombed fucking World Trade Center. He recognized that. He even points out at one point, what are you going to do about terrorists when they're in your own government? Our own government is killing people in the street with ICE. They're putting people in internment camps. Like, hell, they've been doing that with the prison industrial complex, but it hasn't gotten... They haven't done it speedily enough or aggressively enough until this administration for most of white America to be like, wait a minute, is this unfair? Is this bad? We remember a couple years ago, we were protesting something. We kind of vaguely remember that it was about police a little bit, but we thought we solved that, or we're done. The summer of protesting's done. And, you know, like Tim, I'm a bit of a nihilist too. That might happen again where, I don't know, President Gavin Newsom gets in and, we can go back to brunch. We're going to arrest like Greg Bovino from ICE and he'll go to jail. And then he's going to pay for every other Trump official. Don Jr. and Jared Kushner are all fine. Kristi Noem and Stephen Miller, Trump himself, all fine. JD Vance, all fine. Not in jail, not serving time. Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, like none of these motherfuckers are going to go to jail. I think they should, you know, on my baby way to like learning about abolitionism. Like we shouldn't put them in jail. Well, some people need to get fucking locked up. You know, like unrepentant people who are just like, no, this is what I do, and I love doing it. I love being a racist. I love crime on mass scales. These are these are supervillains. Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, these are supervillains. Jeff Bezos, JD Vance, like Trump. And domestically, ICE, the actions of ICE are pushing people to at least vote more extremely than they did. Maine, we just talked about Maine last week a lot. Maine might still go blue. Like Susan Collins is still projected to lose because it doesn't matter. It's not Plattner. It's the platform. The people are fucking pissed. Yes, the puppy sounded like a border collie. He's a little Shih Tzu, and he's scratching into the couch right now. He's excited. But yes, fascist watch. Okay, once again, like a dictatorship, they are total fealty to Donald Trump. These are judge appointments, I believe. And here's Ossoff, senator, I believe senator, congressman, Ossoff from Georgia, asking a question: who won the 2020 election?
Yes.
Who won the 2020 election?
I'm not going to do this with you.
This is a job interview. We've established that you have an obligation to be honest and forthright with the committee. Yes, you do have an obligation to be honest and forthright with the committee.
Yes.
Who won the 2020 election?
Like I said, I'm not going to get into that with you.
But you do have an obligation to be honest and forthright with the committee.
Is anything that I just said not honest or forthright?
Yes, you're not being honest or forthright. Who won the 2020
I think I've answered
election?
the question. We can keep doing this.
Well, we're going to
Again, they're so lazy. They're offended he even has to do this. He's like, just put me on the bench, dude. Like, we know what's going to happen. You're getting a fucking clip for fucking C-SPAN. This is going to go viral. You know, they're going to fucking tweet at me. But at the end of the day, the public's going to confirm me. I'm going to be a judge. Like, shut up. Like, shut up. Don't ask me this. Fuck off. Leave. Like, he's being combative because he doesn't need to. Unless they are held to account or punished, they will keep doing this. Conservatives, broadly. No one got punished after Reagan or Bush. No one got punished. The neoliberals didn't get punished after the 90s. George W. Bush, nobody got punished. Rumsfeld died comfy in his home with his family. So did Cheney. Nobody gets punished. Obama didn't get punished. They need to get punished, or they will keep doing it.
keep doing it because you're not being honest and forthright.
I'm not going to engage in the theater.
It's a simple question, Mr. Clayton.
And I've answered.
Who won the 2020 presidential election?
I've answered it.
You're here asking for the support of senators to lead America's intelligence community. We've established that you have an obligation to be honest and forthright.
And again, like, they're trying to make this clip go viral. I'm talking about the Democrats now. Democrats are like, oh, awesome. Look at this tough questioning. Like, he's just performing. He is performing. Here's me agreeing with this motherfucker. Like, he is performing. To Pigeon Boy, can you advocate for the devil real quick? Yes, I can. Ossoff is cutting a clip. He's cutting a promo with C-SPAN. They often do this. I watch C-SPAN a lot. There's regular business, and then there's I'm putting on a performance. All the rest of you just became background actors in my performance. Cory Booker does that all the time. Kamala Harris did that too. Both of them at the Kavanaugh hearing. That one was a all-star. Everyone was trying to get their fucking clips out, bro. I'm telling you, he's cutting a clip. And I'm telling you, I don't know enough about him to think one way or another if he's going to run for president, if that would be good. I think he could be pushed. I think he's a windblower kind of guy. I would definitely go for him over Newsom. C-SPAN is a TV network. It is basically closed circuit TV for the Senate and the Congress. So if you're watching C-SPAN, they have shows like with news anchors and stuff, like giving updates. But a lot of times it's just raw footage. It's just a live camera in the Senate or Congress or a hearing like this, just filming for the record events, the goings on of the government, things that happen, you know. Like, for example, Mamdani gave a speech at City Hall on July 4th. That was also covered on C-SPAN. Like, it's that stuff. And that's how into the news I got when I first started watching. I would watch MSNBC and Fox News back to back in 2012. But then I was like, I need the raw footage. And I'm watching C-SPAN. Like it's a soap opera, because it is. It's very funny. But yeah, he's trying to cut a clip. And again, I would lean towards Ossoff over Gavin Newsom, because I don't know enough about Ossoff, frankly, to not like him or to have any kind of really opinion on him either way. But again, the fact that the judges are like, dude, we don't even want. I answered the question. My answer is, by the way, his answer is, I don't want to get into this theater with you. That was his answer. I'm not getting into this theater with you. And frankly, like, I appreciate his frankness, his boldness, just being like, he's like a fraction of the way from being like, you know, this hearing doesn't mean anything. You're not going to stop my confirmation. They're all going to vote for me. You're outnumbered. This is pointless. Go fuck yourself. If I'm in this conservative position, I don't have the patience.
Then answer the question. Who won the 2020 election?
I have answered the question.
Answer it. What is your answer?
I've given you my answer.
What is your answer?
Yeah, look.
You refuse to
He's
answer
literally
a
just
basic question about who won
And
the
what?
presidential election.
And what are you going to do? Arrest me? Not confirm me? I know I'm getting this job.
But you asked to lead America's intelligence community?
Oh, that's not a judge. This is for the confirmation of the CIA? FBI?
Isn't it humiliating to be unable to answer this question? To have to indulge the president's delusions? We know, you know, everybody in this room knows the truthful answer to that question. Why can you not give it?
I think I gave you the answer.
Are you aware that Director Gabbard?
Yeah. So then he just moves on. He just moves on to another question because he was just trying to get a clip out. And that's the clip. So again, conservatives blatantly doing crime. Don't give a fuck. Offended that you even ask them about it. Democrats cutting promos for their runs for office. Like Cory Booker and Ossoff here. You know? I mean, here's another one on the conservative side. We're still on fascist watch, by the way. This is J.D. Vance on Joe Rogan. The thumb himself. Talk about Israel.
Do you think that Israel is affecting American political judgment?
I mean, I certainly think that.
Yeah, but they don't have integrity, Adam. Like, it's money. They're like, I'm going to get paid. I'm going to get my job that I want. Or power, whatever it is. They don't give a shit. They're like, yeah, I'll say I take dicks in the ass. I don't give a fuck. I'll put a ball gag in. Who gives a shit? I'll spin my dick around, helicopter my dick on the fucking Capitol steps if it means I'm going to be CIA director. They don't care. They don't care. You're bowing to Tony Soprano. You were wiping Tony Soprano's shoes. You were debasing yourself in front of the other mob captains, even. But you know what? You're rank above them. Or if you're the same rank, then you tease each other about what you had to do to debase yourself in front of the boss. But he's the boss.
There are a lot of talking points and there are a lot of arguments that make their way into American political discourse. I think there are a lot of social media campaigns that definitely influence Americans and affect Americans. Do I think that it's been dispositive on any particular issue? Like I think that's a much more difficult question.
Do you think that we would have started this war in Iran without the influence of Israel?
I think the president, completely separate from any influence from Israel, believes very strongly, and again, I agree with this, that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon.
Do you think
the way he reframes the argument is just like, yes, I believe that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. He's like, did Israel influence the decision to go to war at all? And he's just deflecting. Dude, the fact that they went on Rogan and even Rogan feels a need to like even ask these questions, I'm surprised they're not smoking blunts and just talking about elk hunting or whatever. Yeah, Vance went to Rogan to talk about this because it's the friendliest interview he's going to get. I went on The View last week to hawk my book and to show that I can combat the ladies of The View and also that I'm not so bad of a guy, maybe. Hey, America. Hey, suburban women at home watching The View. Might not be that bad a guy. Hey, remember Hillbilly Elegy? You love Amy Adams. They are all lying to you. This is a mob. This is a mob. And a cult. Word is there'll be a statue coming to Times Square of Charlie Kirk. And the land. This is what it looks like. We will see what happens. I guarantee you it'll be pissed on by dogs and people spit on and whatever. I assume really, as a New Yorker, people are going to take pictures with it as long as it lasts. And it, as long as it lasts. Because, yeah, there will be people who like want to tear it apart and chop its head off or whatever. Or they'll just graffiti it, I mean, look, there is like a police outpost thing right in Times Square, so they might protect it, but for how long is the question? For how long is the question? True, no sleep till Brooklyn. Yeah, and let's get into this shit. So here's more lying.
The ICE agents who killed a person in Maine yesterday were reportedly not using body-worn cameras, and that's despite DHS officials coming to Congress and repeatedly saying over the last few months that they want to expand body camera usage. Does there need to be accountability on DHS from Congress here?
I don't know anything about this event. Okay, I was a little busy yesterday, so I'm going to reserve.
That's a really funny joke, Ghost Dog. They should have installed a Fisher-Price Memorial basketball hoop because he was an easy dunk. Charlie Kirk was. I was a little bitty yesterday. I'm going to reserve judgment. I didn't see that. That's the answer. When again, if they want to like have plausible deniability, I didn't see that. I was busy.
A little busy yesterday, so I'm going to reserve judgment. I know that there was a tragic shooting, and I'm not going to comment on it because I don't know. And you guys can mock me for not knowing that.
I'm not going to mock you for it, Mike. I'm just going to call you a liar because that's what you are. You know exactly what happened yesterday. You know what happened in Minneapolis. You understand that un-American actions are continuing to accelerate across America while Susan Collins votes for $70 billion in ICE funding that has no reforms attached to it.
Which is why Maine is still in play for Democrats. Socialists, by the way. Socialist Democrats.
You have Americans being gunned down in the streets of Minneapolis by masked men. That's un-American.
I will say, my criticism is also for Joe here. Former Congressman, Republican Congressman Joe Scarborough in the 90s helped Newt Gingrich break some of the levers of power that Republicans then continued to break and degrade. And Democrats never bothered to try and fix or uphold or restructure. It is not un-American, Joe, for people to be gunned down in the street. Happens all the time. Happens since our founding. Whether it's Native American people who were gunned down by the colonists, whether it's black people who were lynched because they weren't behaving as a slave, whether it's Chinese people who were killed because they weren't working hard enough on the railroads, Irish people, Spanish people, Mexican, South American people, constantly being deported or put in prison because they don't have the right documentation, because they crossed an invisible fucking border of land. This is very American. Unfortunately, I want it to be un-American. That's what I'm fighting for. That's what I want DSA to fight for. That's what I want the Democrats to fucking fight for. A country where it is un-American to shoot someone down in the street, to shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue and walk away because you were standing your fucking ground. Because you were able to buy a fucking gun at Walmart and walk around with it. I want it to be un-American.
Americans being gunned down in the streets of Minneapolis by masked men, that's un-American. You have fathers.
I don't need more from Scarborough. So that's fascist watch for the most part. That's fascist watch for the most part. We are going to go a little long today. Lumen's not here, and I'll be the last show you're watching. So, I'm gonna do all the fucking clips that I pulled up because I always have so many clips. So yeah, that was fascist watch, and now let's get into. I mean, first of all right, let's keep it a little more. All right, so that was fascist watch. Now I'm talking about ICE specifically. All right, so like I was talking about, it is not un-American for people to be gunned down in the street. That's the Native Americans were gunned down by the colonists. Slaves were gunned down by slave owners who the slaves didn't agree, weren't agreeable slaves. Irish people coming over, denied jobs. Chinese people on the railroads. It is very American for people to be gunned down in the middle of Fifth Avenue because someone was standing their ground with a gun that they bought at Walmart. Because they're so readily available because of gun companies lobbying the government. The government is not doing regulations. ICE killed another person today. This time by depriving him of life-sustaining medication for a known medical condition. Jesus Manuel Arena Silva was detained on Thursday. He was dead by Monday. Again, just because it doesn't happen in broad daylight and it's not involving a gun doesn't mean ICE isn't killing people every day. It wasn't Renee Good and Alex Preddy, and that's it. It wasn't these last two in Maine and Texas who weren't white people. It's everyone in the detention camps. There are deaths almost every day, if not every day. And outside of that, again, there are black folks just dying. If you haven't heard the story of Nolan Wells, it's tragic. He went out on a boat with some friends, all white friends, went out on a boat, didn't come home. They had to sue to get his phone back or like press charges to get his phone back. My heart is broken for the family. This is Rashida Talib. My heart is broken for the family of Nolan Wells. After 6 days, they're still waiting for answers. Nolan's family deserves truth, transparency, accountability, and a thorough investigation. We must confront the deadly reality of how anti-blackness and white supremacy continue to endanger black youth and to devastate black families. Nolan deserves better, and his family deserves an answer. I'm going to play that clip, but the other day, I wanted to amend some reporting I did, whatever you want to call it, commentary. I talked about this photo taken on July 4th, to the 250th anniversary. People making the rounds. Oh my God, like a black person, black woman especially, on this train surrounded by white supremacists. That's all of us. We all see ourselves kind of looking like, what the fuck's going on? More came out about that woman. And turns out she has mental issues. She's like half homeless. Like her family's like, hey, stay home, please. You know, we're trying to help you. But she'll like, okay, I got to go to the store. And then she'll wander off and be gone for days. Okay. It's fucking tragic when that happens to a family member, a loved one. I've known someone that's happened to. Okay. It was very difficult. Just begging her to stay home, not go out, not do the drugs that she wanted to do, whatever, substances maybe involved, but like, stay home. We can put your life back together. You slowly but surely, she lost her bank account. She lost her ID. She lost her phone. I'll fix it later. Never did. Nobody knows where she is, and it's fucking scary. That's what is happening with this woman. It is an infamous photo. But because of that, Pep raid, thanks for the raid, Pep. Appreciate you. Because of that photo, now people are talking about her, but they're using her as a symbol for all of us. Oh, that's me looking around, seeing all the white supremacists. But it's also a photo about the structure of this country. There is no safety net. There is no services that you can call to help with a family member like this. There needs to be. There needs to be. There is so much structural inequality that led to this photo being taken. Like, the photo went out there and made the rounds, and the family was like, hey, photographer, do you know where, like, when was that? Because we were looking for her. Let's hear from Nolan Wells' family. And she's missing on her own. Nolan Wells went missing after hanging out with a bunch of white kids. Going theory now is that the white kids just think it's funny to kill black people. Like, lynching is back. We can get away with it. If we get caught, Trump will pardon us. Or we'll make a GoFundMe. Like Chud the Builder or whatever. This is the family.
Is the kindest soul. He never met a stranger. He loved everybody. He didn't care if you were black, white, purple, green, looked like a marshmallow.
The volume is very low, but she's saying he wouldn't hurt a soul. He's never hurt anyone. He was so sweet. He is so sweet. She corrected herself. Say he is sweet. To keep hope that he's still alive. They don't know. I don't like seeing Al Sharpton here because I feel he always just sullies whatever is happening. But I understand why people reach out to him, because who else is there to reach out to who would give a shit, who would make the story a bigger story than it would be? Because again, it is very American, Joe Scarborough, for black people to just go missing, for people to just end up dead. And nobody knows what happened. Nobody saw nothing. Because it's the white mob who did it. I want to play this clip from Chris Rabb. He's talking about the black radical tradition in this country. He's asked about like, hey, why do you think so many young people are getting into socialism or whatever the fuck? And he says this.
Listen, there's this false dichotomy between young and old, whether it's in the black community more broadly, that older people are more conservative. And there's some truth to that. It's a stereotype. It goes to the bell curve. 80% may be more moderate, whatever. But there's always this tradition, the black radical tradition is not new. It is a long-standing tradition. And the people who are elders, and if you want to include me as an elder, as a Gen Xer, so be it. We're the ones who are talking about King. King had a very strong anti-capitalist analysis. He was anti-militarism, anti-imperialism, anti-poverty. These are things that our own Democratic Party today will not speak out on. So this is something that transcends generation, it transcends ethnicity, it transcends geography. My brother Justin J. Pearson, who's running in Tennessee, they tried to cut up his district. It went from 65% black to 32% black, and it includes a town in his new district that is the birthplace of the Klan. And he told me when I saw him in Chicago recently that 130 white people showed up in Pulaski, Tennessee to support this young brother. We need to get away from these binary assumptions that all white people this, all black people, all old people, all whatever. We can't do that because there's too much nuance in our humanity. And we understand that we can reach people where they are, and we can have progressive policies. We may not call them policy progressive, that are embraced by people who are socially conservative, whether it's healthcare or housing as a human right, whether it's a living wage instead of a poverty wage. These are things that transcend partisanship and labels. But if you have a strong message and a strong messenger, and you reach people where they are with clarity, a purpose, with integrity and authenticity, you can win.
Yeah, Justin Pearson is awesome in Tennessee. Like, I think this message, we heard it. I interviewed Danielle Welch a couple weeks ago, right here on this channel. She'll be on again, definitely. Check out the video right here if you missed it. She was talking about running in a district here in New York, in Long Island. Crosses into Queens, but mostly it's in Long Island. And I asked her why she didn't reach out to, or if she reached out to DSA at all. And she said, actually, I didn't, because the word socialist is still kind of scary here for people. So I didn't want that association, but I agree with the whole platform. And that's important, what Chris Rabb points out. If you don't preface, when you ask somebody, hey, do you believe healthcare should be a human right? Do you believe housing or food should be a human right? They'll most likely say yes. Most policies on the DSA platform, on this platform, the Workers Deserve More platform, people agree with if you don't tell them that it's from the DSA. Or, again, regardless, take any policy, conservative policy, progressive policy, centrist policy. Put those in front of people. Just ask them about the policies. Most people usually go for the progressive policy. When I was watching this stream last night, explaining this whole platform, and we're going to have a DSA guy on tomorrow, possible new host on tomorrow, on our brand new show, The Space Station, here on this space. I was thinking, this just sounds like how a society should be working. This is how I thought society ran when I was like a little kid. Oh, the adults know what they're doing. Everyone's taken care of. We're trying to help people. The idea of America, the American dream, if you will. Any country's dream, what they think of themselves. And Chris Rabb has said, it's not about black or white. Now he's being nice and you know, using savvy politics. Here's someone not using savvy politics. This is Lil Bill. Love Lil Bill. This is a second channel, Lil Bill's Barbershop. And it's a video about Jay-Z tangentially. But really, he goes into like people creating shit on the internet. And I want to play the last couple minutes here, where he's talking about like, you think you're making a video that's going to change the fucking world. Your video is not going to change the world. You retweeting and dunking on somebody is not going to change the fucking world. You know what's going to change the world? Knocking on your neighbor's door, learning your neighbor's name, raising funds for a book bag drive in your local community because there's not enough money for kids to get book bags. It's the idea of like being a field medic. Hey, I'm not going to stop the war because you got to change the motherfuckers up there. But the war is happening. I'm on the ground. I'm going to stop someone from dying today. I'm going to do what I can to help today. And this is the last little portion of this video. Again, it's called Jay-Z Will Never Change. So why are we bitching about him? And again, he does what I do. Well, he does it much better. I will make videos about Jay-Z, and in these videos, I'm talking, he's a billionaire. Fuck him, he's a billionaire. He met Beyonce when she was 16. Just to get it into people's heads who are watching Jay-Z reactions, if they come across mine. He's making videos for people already kind of looking for radical videos and going, hey, surprise, you thought this was a radical video. It is. It's so radical, I'm telling you, you ain't doing shit by watching this video. Watch this.
Then what the fuck can I do? You understand what I'm saying? You could do a lot. You feel me? To keep it a bean, you could do a lot. But you got to make some sacrifices. You understand what I'm saying? You got to make some you could do a lot. Again, even if it's as simple as learning your neighbor's names, you can do a lot. You can do a lot to change the world by, again, just getting off the internet, getting off of, social media sites. You feel me? Actually interacting with folk or at the very least, using the internet to make connections with folk who are on the ground, because I know some folk are disabled, some folk are not able to get out, but they are still able to use it. Again, it's a tool. The internet is a tool. Social media is a tool. YouTube is a tool.
It's a tool, and we can fucking use it. We have been using it, and they've been terrified. That's why the Ellisons bought TikTok. That's why Elon Musk bought Twitter. That's why Zuckerberg is like clamping down what you can do on Instagram and Facebook. They realize, oh shit, people are organizing against us, our interests. Uh-oh. Same thing happened with the written word. When the printing press was invented, and not anybody, but like more people than just the kings and the lords could print shit on paper, then motherfuckers were making pamphlets. One of them pamphlets, Communist Manifesto. You know what I'm saying? Even people learning to write. Going back before that, Martin Luther. Right? That had something to do with like religion and Christianity or some shit. Progressive Christianity? I don't remember. Hands up, I don't remember. Okay? But the point still stands. It's a tool. It can be used for oppression. They want it. They use it for oppression all the time. But they can be used for liberation.
You understand what I'm saying? But as with every tool, the internet has limits to its usage. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not finna take a hand.
If it was truly a town square, it would be internationally publicly owned. Like the UN would control Twitter. And I think the UN should. Again, I have an idea. If merging the U.S. military with Israel's military is on the table as a possibility, then it's definitely possible to say 2/3 of the United States military is now dedicated to the UN. If countries around the world break international law, you're going to get fucked up by this military force that is ordered by committee at the UN. Now, the UN obviously has problems that they need to fucking fix, namely United States, Israel, England, France. A lot of these countries get way outsized power when it comes to votes, right? Every other country votes that Israel is committing a genocide. Israel, the United States, and England say no, it's not, so it's not, right? We don't have to take an action on that. So yeah, that needs to be fixed too. But like, dude, here's my goal. And again, I agree with Bill, but I also agree with like Emma Vigeland, who's like, we need power. We need power. We need to seize that power so that the wars don't begin in the first place, so that people don't need book bag drives in the first place. And that's going to take longer than 4 years of a president or 8 years of a president. That's going to take consecutive administrations. That's going to take a change in what's the parameters of what politicians are expected to do. Zohar Mamdani is showing that in a small way here in New York City. It is one city on earth, one city in the country, but it's the biggest and the greatest city on earth in the country. So it's getting a lot of attention. And he's showing what government can do for you. And we need more examples of that. More examples till that's just the culture of government. You better be doing shit or we're going to vote you the fuck out. And you don't make money when you go there. You don't make side deals. You don't have a crypto coin or whatever. You're not Tony fucking Soprano.
Hammer and use that to, to like a wrench. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not finna, take a circular saw and try to, drill a screw in or some shit. I'm not going to do that. Social media, the internet, they have limits to their usage. But niggas don't recognize that, and they genuinely think that, again, grossly overestimate the efficacy of online exclusive activism. Aesthetic, and what we wind up doing is settling on aesthetic activism, settling on the appearance and the feeling of doing shit. When you look around you and ask yourself, has anything changed? You feel me? Since you made internet activism your whole personality, has anything changed? Has any leeway been made for any of the stuff that you're talking about? You dig what I'm saying? So that's my 2 cents on it.
I think that's very important for content creators to absorb. That's why I think this clip should really be one of the clips. If I don't know, not every clip gets clipped that I put the time code in the private chat for, but this one, this whole segment, fucking ICE and lynchings. Dude. Yeah. Talk to your neighbor. Learn your neighbor's name in case they get fucking kidnapped by the government. By the fucking Gestapo, man. Okay? Fucking Christ, man. All right, I got one more. For y'all. And it's a better feeling one. Okay? And then Nick is probably going to run some pep talks or something, some pre-recorded stuff, and we'll be out of here for today. And tune in tomorrow, specifically 5 o'clock Eastern. Tune in for the whole show, for the whole stream. But 5 o'clock Eastern, new show, Space Station, rotating host panel show. Leftist Mafia adjacent. You know what I mean? So this segment is about fascists getting got. All right? Fascists get got. We got to indulge in a little bit of joy here, okay? Here's Conor McGregor, fascist, bigot, rapist, I believe, on his triumphant return to the MMA, dude. This is his return. And steps out the gate.
Watch this. He steps. Now watch his right leg. He steps on it, and right there.
Oh, yep.
And it blew out his knee immediately. So he's going back to retirement. fucking loser. Fucking loser. Want to see another fucking loser? Here's another fucking loser. Jake Lang. Jake Lang, who I believe other conservatives are thinking he's a Fed, so they're like trying to find him and fight him and whatever. I don't know exactly what this is. I don't know if this, basically, I don't know if we should be rooting for the guy in this video punching Jake Lang or being like, this is another fascist, let them fight kind of thing. But here's Jake Lang getting his fucking ass kicked. You're wearing a look at this. Look at this pause. This is also a good clip that should be clipped out. Just making fun of these losers. Look at that. Just like fucking Josh Hawley running through the halls of Congress on January 6th. He ripped his whole fucking his body vest off. His bulletproof vest. Dude, you don't need a bulletproof vest. You need a fucking helmet. A bike helmet. You better walk around like Daft Punk, bitch. To quote Kendrick Lamar on Euphoria. Oh, this is like someone else in Jake Lang's crew.
Stop it! This is the freedom of speech peaceful event!
Oh, is this another angle?
Get the fuck out of LA! Be peaceful! Be peaceful! Stop assaulting me!
Again, they're going to try and get everybody's face on this video and go, they're all getting concentration camps, right? This is, I mean, this guy is the conservative, the other conservative. I believe it's an ongoing story. I wanted to talk to Ben Dixon about it, but I believe this is the other conservative who's like hunting him down and calling him a Fed and shit. Also, I believe this guy was at January 6th and was pardoned by Trump.
You come at me, you saw everything.
Fuck you, bitch.
You come at me.
It might be a different shirtless, long-haired guy. I'm stipulating that.
You get stopped. You learn your lesson. Little girl learned what it's like. She's in there.
All right, so that was Jake Lang. That was Jake Lang getting his ass kicked. Again, people are sick of this shit. People are sick of this shit. All right, and on ICE, check this out. Here is a Trump supporter dressed up as ICE. Dressed up as ICE. Things are close to boiling over. They're boiling over. It is boiling over. We're getting violence. There's violence in the streets. It's happening. Black people are getting killed by whites who think there's immunity and from it. And fascists are getting fucking jumped, as they fucking should. Because you shouldn't be openly fascist and feel safe in a just, sane society.
Porter dressed up as an ICE agent and tried to bully and harass people, and he immediately got instant karma.
Ice is made of water. Eat dick, Ice.
Now, they must have realized he wasn't actually an ICE agent and he didn't have any backup. That's why they created ICE. They're a gang. The cops are a gang. ICE is a gang. Feds are a gang. They're just a gang, a legal gang. They're the biggest gang. And they need to be de-gangified. He thought he'd be safe because of the outfit.
Man, this Trump supporter dressed up as a.
All right, so that was that one. Again, there is no tolerating these fucks. There's no negotiating with terrorists. They're terrorists. They're terrorists. That's gonna be it for me. Thank you very much for watching an impromptu Devil's Advocate Productions extra long episode. I will be back on tomorrow, at least at 5. Maybe I'll come on earlier. We'll see how the day goes. But yeah, I love y'all. Thank y'all. Nick, I believe, has some syndicated content for you, but if not, then can we raid somebody? Can we raid on YouTube? Because this channel has over 3,000 or over 1,000 subscribers. Well, I mean, who's live though? Nobody's live. Nobody's live. All right. Again, they might Nick might play some syndicated stuff for y'all. But have a good day. Oh, we can't rate. That's fine. Who cares? Have a good day. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Again, check out my new videos. If you want to see me listen to Jay-Z, I recommend this one for sure. Wax Museum, Tierra Wax. She's great. Talked about the song of the summer, Spend That. Watch FD's video. Matter of fact, let me recommend that right before I leave. What is this? B-sides? Streams? No, streams. Yeah. So old people equals getting conservative. When did old people forget being young? You know, basically there was a controversy over the song of the summer of like, oh, why are you glorifying like boosting and stealing stuff and stripping and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, motherfucker, this music has existed forever. Come on. Yeah, check out Brian. Y'all would like Brian Andrews' album. First of all, Boston Brian did an interview with him last year. Great stuff. But all the protest music that he's been making is on this album. So definitely check that out. I made that for July 4th. And once again, okay, now goodbye. Now good night. Have a good night, folks. Take care.